Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to our Halloween edition of the Cruise News. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a scary story. Tonight, I'm going to tell you a spooky cruise story, one that might just give you a fright. So let's get into the cruise news. So I just had to get in, a last spooky intro for this Halloween season. But it is time to get into some serious cruise news, though it's not going to be cruise news that we are all hoping to hear, because guess what? It is time for another price increase. It is time for another price hike on your next cruise, and this time it is going to be coming from Royal Caribbean. Now, Royal Caribbean has announced that once again, it's time to raise those gratuity rates. Now, they just raised them back in September of 2022. They just released their third quarter earnings here in 2023 and announced that they made over $1 billion in profit, but they're gonna raise the gratuity rates again anyways. So beginning November 11th, just a little over a week away, the new prices are going to go into effect. So for your standard cabins, that's your junior suites and below, it's going to go from $16 per person per day up to $18 per person per day. And suites is going to go from $18.50 per person per day up to $20.50 per person per day. So that's going to be a $2 increase across the board no matter what cabin type you're in. And like I said, per person per day. Now, if you already have a cruise booked, like I said, right now you're already booked. As long as you prepay the gratuities prior to November the 11th, then you're going to pay at the current rate. If you wait and get on the ship to pay your gratuities, you're going to pay at the higher rate. So if you're already booked and you wait till you get to the ship, you're going to see the new rates. The only way to keep the lower rates right now is to prepay those gratuities prior to the 11th. So that's the only grandfathering that they're going to put in there for existing bookings, is you have to prepay them in order to get the old rates. So if you do have an upcoming cruise on Royal Caribbean and you haven't prepaid your gratuities, you may want to do that. Save yourself a little bit of money, because let's say you're a family going into a cabin, 4 people, going for a week. That's a couple extra dollars that you could be spending on something else. Now, the 18% on board gratuity rate for things such as beverage purchases, the spa, room service, minibar items, things like that remains the same. That is still going to be the 18%. So you will not see a price increase there, just in the crew gratuities. Now, like I said, this is only a year after they just raised them. They raised them back in September of 2022. They just announced record profits. And then right on the heels of that, they're now going to charge cruise passengers more money. Now, I don't have a problem with the crew making more money. I'm okay if the crew gets a raise. I'm okay that the crew gets tips for the wonderful and excellent service they provide us on board ships. But I'm not real happy with the fact that you're going to announce record profits one week, and then the very next week, that's when you want to raise the gratuities. So if the crew members, in my opinion, deserve a raise, why not use some of that record profit to give them a raise instead of necessarily dipping into the pockets of your loyal cruise passengers? I've heard the argument before that, cruise lines use the gratuities to, cover the majority of the crew members' salaries. That's where they're making their most money from the tip positions, room stewards, dining room staff. You get a lot of their money from the tips. The cruise lines pay them a smaller salary. And here we are, they need some more money. They need a raise. The cost of living is up for everybody, but they don't want to raise that base salary. No, they want you to pay more gratuities. And that's kind of where I have the problem. Maybe if they hadn't just announced record profits, I would feel different. Maybe if they said, hey, we're operating, completely at a loss. We're not making any money. We're barely holding on, but we want to get our crew members, something a little more. So we're going to raise the gratuity rates. That's maybe one thing. But now when you say record profits, and we want more of your money, yeah, that kind of rubs me a little bit in the wrong way. from the cruise line. Not the crew members, but the cruise line itself. But you guys let me know what you think. How do you feel about a cruise line raising rates, charging more, increasing the gratuity rates in this case, right after announcing record profits? Doesn't seem right to me, but you guys tell me what you think. And that's going to be our quick cruise news video for this Halloween night. Hope everyone out there has enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great Halloween, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.